Hey guys, welcome back to the CFoD Show. It's me again, Danny McCormick, and of course, Tommy the...
What the fuck is this broom doing here? We ready to start?
I am so sorry, guys. All right, we are back for another episode of the CFoD Show. That's right, 3 weeks in a row. That's like way better than last year. Anyways, I am Danny McCormick, as you all know, and then over here we've got returning from vacation, Tommy Vereen. How's it going, Tommy?
It's going well, Danny. It's going. I apologize for not being around last week. It was a bit of a rough week for me. I had a lot to deal with after that.
We were really hoping that we could get enough footage at the game to kind of construct an episode, and then I realized it wouldn't have had any of the stuff for a normal show, so I put out a little something.
Yeah, well, thanks for...
That's what your mama said.
Button's a little slow today, too.
Yeah, we're a little rusty on that. Haven't pushed a button in 2 weeks. But yeah, it was a little sunburn. Saw my team lose. Lost my Johnson and my Woodhead. So it was a rough day.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah, sunburns and broken Woodhead Johnsons.
Whereas I lost to Taserface and you lost to the Clusterfucker.
Yeah, it really wasn't a good week one for me. Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton made your Superflex position feel really good.
Andy Dalton is in positive points on the season now, so good for him.
Good.
My
Really good for
Superflex is still in the negatives on the season, but we'll get there eventually.
Yeah, that's right. We have a lot of stuff in store for you in this episode. Hopefully it'll be like our normal episodes.
A little bit of catching up to do too.
Yeah, we're actually going to try and do a little bit of makeup for next.
Or making out.
No, making up for last week.
I'm sorry.
I forgive you.
Thank you.
You have a really long arm. Look at that. Whoa. Okay, set number 2. It's even longer. Whoa!
Go, gadget arm. All right.
Anyways, let's just get right into it. Let's see what happens.
That's what your mama said.
Yeah, it was a little weak.
No?
Didn't play. Didn't turn red.
But it's because I had to turn... All right, let's just move on.
All right. Anyways, I'm going to probably edit that out. No, I probably won't. I'm too lazy. Anyways, this is what happened last week. As you can see, everybody on the left won except for Randall. Well, except for Cody, because Randall won.
Yeah. Cody would have beat a lot of teams, but not the one that he played.
Yes. I figured it would be a little bit more fun to do something. I think we did this a few weeks ago, but to try and kind of diagnose why people won. Instead of just saying the scores, we kind of go into what happened. And I wanted to start because I did a lot of research and analysis on Baron versus Ashley.
Okay.
We're going to start with Baron and why he lost.
All right. Go ahead.
Well, last week he picked up Brandon Marshall, paid him a nice hefty sum of $40. What was the next highest bid? Like 5?
Believe it, yeah. I bid 0. I know that much.
Did you get him?
I did not.
You didn't.
I was outbid by $40.
Oh, okay.
So I think there was a $2 bid in there. I don't know. Carry on with your analysis. I'll do some
all right.
quick
But anyways,
research.
Brandon Marshall was on a team in week 1. He was on Allen's team, and Allen started Brandon Marshall, and turns out Brandon Marshall went and got 2 points because he had a catch for like 12 yards. And only got 2 points. Did not even help Allen break 100 points. He was well under 100 points because turns out Brandon Marshall he's a little selfish this year. He wants.
If you're looking for Brandon Marshall, he's back in 2015.
Yeah, so he's been a mean person in the locker room. He's really bringing down his teammates. I mean, how many points did Barron get from his wide receivers this week?
It was, if you're counting the top 3 receivers, no flexes.
Sure.
It was 7 points.
7 points. Brandon Marshall, did he take him to a strip club the night before? Where they were just unfocused?
Hey, he scored 2 of those points. He did his job. I guess.
But I realized that Brandon Marshall is a locker room cancer this year. He brings down a team. Allen was projected like 130 points last week, got 99 because he had Brandon Marshall in week 1. This week, Barron picked him up not only for an exorbitant amount of money, but he played him in his lineup again. 2 points, brought the whole team down, and he only scored 74 points. Lowest point total in Superflex era.
In the Superflex era.
And that is almost 2 weeks long.
Well,
almost exactly 2 weeks long.
Okay, lowest point total. I thought you... Never mind. I was going to talk about Andy Dalton, but never mind.
All right.
So that was some astute analysis on Barron's side.
Yeah.
I'm almost there to see what the competing bids were for. Took me a minute to get this thing loaded up.
I probably could have done it faster.
Speaking of which, we have a whole new crop of waivers that went through. We can talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that here
also.
in just a second. But we want to continue talking about this Barron versus Ashley matchup.
Yes, we will. We will. Fab bids. Brandon Marshall, the next highest bid. There was a $13 bid for Brandon Marshall.
Oh, who was going to pay that?
Ralph, one from Mahomes.
Ralph.
And then there were 2 bids. Myself and Josh both bid $0.
I wonder how many less points Ralph would have had he started Brandon Marshall. Probably about 60 points.
He probably would have lost.
Yeah, well, he did.
I know, but he would have lost
harder,
lost better, extra harder. Worse.
But anyway, so that is the deep analysis as to why Barron lost. It was just Brandon Marshall is just locker room cancer. Just brought down his whole team.
But every matchup has 2 sides to the coin, so it's not just what Barron did to lose. What did Ashley do to win?
Ashley, what she did to win is she played Barron.
Oh, that's very well said.
That's right.
Keen analysis on that one, on both sides.
Yes, obviously.
On both sides.
Now, do you want to talk about Randall versus Cody?
Sure. Let's talk about Randall versus Cody a little bit. Do you have the same kind of analysis prepared for that?
Not exactly. I only had one prepared today, but
well, we have 6 things to do because there's more teams than the show.
Yeah, that's fine. I thought maybe you'd help a little bit.
Oh, you didn't tell me to help, so I didn't help.
Oh.
I just kind of show up and do my thing and then leave.
Yeah, I know.
It's like...
You leave a mess.
Yeah. It's always gone the next time I show up, so I figured it worked out.
Yeah.
Let's see. So let's get into this analysis between Randall and Cody. Randall won... it's funny because I remember you kind of bashing Randall's team there, but he's firmly sitting at the top with the highest consistent scoring in the league.
So are we saying that Randall won because I badmouthed his team?
I think so. I think you put a positive curse on him, which then led Michael Crabtree to score 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, I mean, he only got 9 points out of LaShawn McCoy, and he still scored 154 points.
Speaking of Michael Crabtree,
do
we have a bumper?
I think we do have a bumper.
I'll let you press the button.
That's what your mama said.
The bumper for the other bumper.
CFoD MVP.
First and goal. Carr, fade, up in the air. It's caught. Michael Crabtree, touchdown, Oakland. Got himself in the proper shape. Carr on 3rd and 6. Timing route. It's caught by Crabtree for the touchdown. Michael Crabtree, 2nd of the day. Carr, moving pocket. Throws to a spot. Caught by Crabtree. He's got the hat trick. Touchdown, Raiders.
Yep, there it is. That's why Randall won right there. It was Michael Crabtree. 3 touchdowns, outperformed his projection by 17 points, which coincidentally is the exact number that Randall won by.
Randall would have gotten his patented tie if not for Michael Crabtree's exorbitant. I'm using that word a lot today.
It's a good word. You're using it an exorbitant amount of time.
That's right.
But he also got 22 points out of Jermaine Kearse.
Yeah.
So, Randall's just finding a way to piece together points, and he has my boy...
The Jermaine positive curse. I gave him a positive curse. You said that just a minute ago.
Oh... New nickname. That's not going to stick.
Nope.
But yeah, Randall just keeps finding a way to score points, and he has my boy Kareem Hunt. So
yeah, that's really good. And now let's talk about why Cody lost.
Well, Cody did have some good performances.
He did. He had the 2nd highest score in the league.
Yeah,
well, 3rd if you don't count if you count James.
Oh yeah, but we don't.
No.
James was out of the country, so that's inflated. Those are
That was with the interim coach?
Those are metric points, so that doesn't count. We won't get into what the actual score was.
It was still higher than Justin's.
Yeah, of course, and it's barely higher than Justin's. But anyway, so Cody had solid performances from Mike Evans and C.J. Anderson, but again, it just wasn't enough. He had a couple of eggs laid out there by Greg Olson, who decided that he didn't want to walk anymore.
Oh, he walked. He hobbled.
Oh, okay. Well, he wanted to hobble instead of walking. Kind of disappointments from Terrell Pryor so far. So, he still had a good week, just wasn't good enough to hang in there with Randall and those and the MVP performance of Michael Crabtree.
That's right. Next on the list would be, let's go with Ralph versus Jeff. You want to know why Jeff won? There's two reasons, really. One, consistency. Actually, that's kind of both reasons in one. Consistency. Not only has he just always consistently won in this league, which I'm sorry, buddy.
Shut up.
He just consistently wins in this league.
I scored the same number of points.
So did I. Consistently win.
That's consistent.
We have a stat about that too. None of his players scored 20 points.
Yeah, just kind of even across the. No real duds laid there. I mean, we're 3, 5, 6, 7, and then a lot of middle points there.
Yeah.
So he had a
just
solid
consistency.
week. But I'll tell you why Jeff won. It was why Ralph lost. And that's Bilal Powell.
Bilal Powell.
I tell you what, I feel bad for anyone who has Bilal Powell on his team. I feel bad for anyone who thought about keeping him last year, because that would have been a terrible decision.
Could have been.
Bilal Powell had 1 point.
Yeah.
For Ralph out of his projected 11.
How many did Dak Prescott have?
Dak Prescott had 13 points, I believe.
I thought he had 4.
No, he definitely didn't have 4.
He played Denver.
He still had more than that. I'll tell you how many he had. He had 12.
He got 12 points?
He had 12 points.
Wow.
Yeah. Dak Prescott is awesome.
How did
Whoever
Dak
kept him is really smart.
How did he get 12 points?
By scoring them, playing football.
That's right. I forgot he does that.
Yep.
But anyways, yeah, so Ralph lost because of Bilal Powell.
Bilal Powell. So,
even though Kelsey had a great week, Kelsey scored the most points out of the entire matchup with 24.
Yeah, but it just wasn't enough. Wasn't enough to carry the whole team. Then there's James versus Justin. James, of course, did get that metric boost.
Yep,
So,
and the interim coach.
That also. The interim coach. Wait, what?
Well, it's kind of like the Colts a couple years ago when, Pagano went out with cancer and Caldwell came in and they did really well. And then ever since Pagano came back, they've sucked because you just know, it's probably the coach. He was out of the country, so he got an interim coach to coach this week.
So are you saying James has cancer?
No, I'm saying he went out of town.
Okay. Well, anyway, James had big performances from Ty Montgomery and Jason Witten, a couple of mid to late round picks who, they just really benefited out of that metric system. Alshon Jeffrey, Emmanuel Sanders, they got some points, and Justin's team isn't good. So that's what led to that matchup. Justin got 23 points out of Tom Brady's elite performance. How about that difference in quarterback scoring this year?
Yeah, I was telling Tommy in pre-show, I don't think a quarterback's going to score 30 points in a game this year.
I mean, Tom Brady, that was 440-something yards, and what was it, 2 touchdowns, or was it 3?
I thought he had 4 touchdowns.
I don't believe so.
Oh, maybe he was on pace to 4.
It was 447 and 3 touchdowns,
okay.
And that was good for a 27-point performance, which is still great. I mean, if you got that out of a running back, you'd be pretty happy.
Yeah.
But it's just not that high, huge ceiling that we've seen from quarterbacks before. So
now, maybe we'll skip our games because this is running a little long, but we do need to get into our... No. Getting a little long, Tommy. We don't need the button. Our stat of me and Tommy both scored 132 points this week.
Indeed.
We tied this week, buddy.
We did tie. Didn't we tie last week also?
We did tie last week, and that's what brings us to our stat of the week. And
God?
No, I turned on the light.
Oh.
It was getting dark in here. Is me and Tommy have scored the same amount of points 2 weeks in a row. That has never been done in CFoD history. That 2 teams scored the same amount one week, and then scored the same amount in a consecutive week. So we just set a record, buddy.
Good for us.
Yeah.
We've done it.
Yeah. What do you want to score this week?
Let's go for 230.
230 each?
What was Josh's record-breaking performance that one?
214.
214. Well, let's go for 215.
Okay. I didn't make the playoffs because of that.
What do you? That's probably why you're rivals now.
Could be, but
not
I
rivals.
did go through the CFoD record books and find out a few fun things about tying. Is we did come close to having two teams score the same amount in a row. 1 week, Ashley and Randall tied. This was actually last year, 2016. They scored 107 points in like week 7, and then week 8, one scored 155, the other scored 156, off by 1.
Really close.
We didn't do that because you started.
Because I went out there and got a negative point to solve that problem.
Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome.
Boom. How's that look in camera?
All
When
about
I'm
the
right
team.
there? Oh, I need to be right. We'll have to adjust the camera somehow.
Oh, yeah, because it gets in there.
Double-fisted.
Ooh, that's...
That's what your mama said.
All right.
Yeah. So, other times that we've had stuff is the most amount of consecutive people we had was 2006 week 8, where me, James, and Ralph all had the same score, and then 2 other people had 225, and 2 other people had 109. So basically, 2006 week 8, we could have had like 7 ties, but instead we had 0.
Oh.
Or no, maybe we had 1. I don't remember. I didn't write that down.
We had 1 to 6 ties.
And then there was a time in 2005, week 6, where we had 3 different sets of ties, but no one was playing each other. We had 3 couldas, I was calling them. And 2014, we had 1 tie and 2 couldas.
You had a lot of time on your hands today.
I had a lot of times on my hand. That was not that great.
Let's cut that
All
one
right.
out.
No, I liked it. I liked it enough to keep it.
Never mind.
I knew you were going there.
That's what your mama said.
Right. So, all of that said, this is the wrong slide. Look at that.
Wow.
Did I put in
It looks like you fucked up, Danny.
live editing?
Wait, speaking of fuck up,
Wait, I did. Oh, that's what I did.
you
Okay.
fucked up, Danny.
I fucked.
We could just put fuck up of the week right here.
All right, press the
solve everyone's
press the
problem.
bumper.
I'm good at this. Wrong. That was the wrong button, wasn't it?
Yep, that played the auga. That played.
I'm just gonna push all the buttons.
No.
Oops. I hope I didn't actually do anything.
All right, I think we're good. Let me fucking press the button.
Baby, you fucked up, you fucked up, you fucked up. This time I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. Baby, you fucked up, you fucked up.
Cohen, who fumbles it, recovered by the Bucks.
Yep, and there we have it.
Boy, did we have some fuck ups this week.
Well, how come we had such trouble scrounging up the showmanship?
Go with the fucking lead in, Danny. Christ.
Okay.
Can we do that over?
No, we don't have that much film.
Fine. Yeah, and boy, did we have some fuck ups
Yeah,
this week.
holy crap! What were you thinking?
All of the fuck ups. Let's see. Let's start off with Baron, who,
Oh boy.
after a rough week 1, he decided that he needed to go out and get an ad of veteran presence. You talked about him earlier in that $40 contract. In fact, didn't you have a little footage of that contract signing?
Not necessarily the signing, but it's yeah.
Okay.
A touchdown with 14 minutes to go. 5-man rush, and open is Marshall, and he drops the ball.
Yep, there was Brandon Marshall. Granted, he went back and he picked up that $40. He wants
Good
that.
for him.
Yeah, but anyways, Barron's learning a very quick lesson about how to spend your free agent auction bid. Is that what it stands for?
Let's just call it fab.
Fab. Learning how to spend his fab in the CFoD. Granted, to be fair, Brandon Marshall was going into the season one of those. Oh, he could do really good in New York. It just turns out New York sucks.
Yeah, I didn't really want a piece of that action, but
Yeah.
but I understand. understand it, and especially in this league with the limited wide receivers that are available out there. It's just tough when you bid $40 and the next highest is 13.
Yeah, you're like, God, I could have saved $25.
But then, I mean, a lot of people thought that in week 1 going after Javorius Allen and Tariq Cohen, and I just decided to blow my load all over those guys. So.
Well, you couldn't have saved that much. I was only behind you by a little bit.
Right. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying is like when somebody bids close, it kind of justifies that pick. But if you want somebody, you kind of have to go get them. And Barron, as we've seen, hasn't had the best start and needed to change something up.
So, while you're a fuck up of the week nominee, Barron, at the same time, we feel you.
You're not the only one who fucked up. At least you had a full roster.
Yeah, speaking of which, how about that Justin guy?
Yeah, he went and made some moves. He did drop Adrian Peterson, I saw, but then he neglected to replace him with anyone. He had 2 empty bench spots on his team.
He just had like 4 bench players? Or 6 bench players, I guess?
Whatever it was. But then there were 2 empty slots there that he had nobody. And that's a fuck-up nominee because have somebody there.
Yeah.
Anybody is better than having nobody in those slots.
And that's why he went out and got Josh Gordon.
Yeah, which is basically... Then you can have your Canada too. Then you have nobody in the slot and somebody in the slot.
That's what your mama said.
I shouldn't put you so close to that button.
But it's funny. And then our third nominee...
It's going again. Anyways.
I love that button. Anyway, the third nominee for Fuck Up of the Week is our dear doctor, our resident doctor, Ralph Mankey, who, as we mentioned earlier, was the curse of Blau Pau.
Blau Pau?
Blau Pau. Yeah.
He can't score points.
He scored 1. He scored a point, but had Ralph started Derrick Henry instead of him...
What would have happened?
He would have had 14 more points and would have won the game.
That would put Ralph at 1-1.
Yep, he would have a win in this league.
Whoa.
But he doesn't. And it's because he started Blau Pau.
Oh. I didn't know that he was 0-2 because we still haven't done the standings segment.
Well, we'll get into those standings here in just a second,
All right,
I suppose. Which one of these classic fuck-ups should be our fuck-up of the week, Danny?
I don't want to pick on Barron. Don't really want to pick on Ralph. So
yeah, because I mean Barron, like we said, you got to spend money when you're down there to make a move. He's doing something, and Ralph
it just turned out to be a fuck up.
Ralph didn't know DeMarco Murray was going to get hurt, and that Derrick Henry was going to outscore Blau Pau.
But Justin, having what you call a suboptimal lineup to begin with, just decides, I don't need to take a shot on anyone.
Yeah, that's a fuck up. That could be a costly fuck up.
Yeah. So I could play the Justin you fucked up bumper from last year.
There's a bumper from last year? I don't remember. As soon as this episode's done, I'll forget all about this one too.
Until you watch it.
Yeah, and then I'll remember it, and then I'll forget it for the next one. Got to keep this clean and focused.
People were going to say that if you're going to keep it clean, you got to get rid of the beard.
Well, that's because they're jealous.
Sure.
They're
not even sitting next to you. Anyways, we're going to go with Justin. You fucked up.
You fucked up, buddy.
And now I'm going to play a bumper.
That's Stephon Diggs. He's on my team.
Yeah, and you didn't trade him to somebody for nobody.
Not yet, anyway. There's still time, people. Offer me up nothing.
I'll give you nothing for him.
Deal.
I'm going to edit that to say Tommy next week. Anyways, time to unfuck up and actually go into standings.
Look at those standings.
Yeah, we've pretty much talked mostly about them. Is there anything you really want to point out, though?
Well, we still have 3 undefeated teams, and they're exactly as you predicted. They were the Clusterfucker and Randall up there at the top, along with the defending champion, Jeff. And then
fantasy football, so predictable.
Then a few 0-2 teams, not looking good for
Alan or
for
Justin.
Alan or Justin right now.
I think Ralph can turn it around.
That's never mind.
Yeah,
I think we've exceeded our button capacity for the day. Yeah, and then from there it's wide open as far as that goes. I think noticeable lack of points there from Barron in the midst of that 1-1 group.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to get some, but I mean, he lost Jordy Nelson this last week too.
Yeah, that hurts.
That
me in another league too.
But. Yeah. So I mean, right now it's still too early to tell, but congratulations to the 3 teams who are still undefeated. We'll see if they can keep it going into the next week.
I actually wanted to do a thing with you with the standings. Is we've got 3 2-0s. Everyone does this in the NFL. like with regular teams, like, man, which team's going to go the longest going undefeated?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say, what do you think of these
Ooh.
3 teams? Now, I can give you the next 4 teams each one of them is playing.
Okay.
I've got it written down.
Oh, all right then. That's what
Randall is playing Jeff this week. So
All right,
one of them is going to lose.
All right.
So actually, don't tell me yet. Well, no. We'll get into that game later.
Okay.
But we've got Randall playing Jeff, then me, then Alan, then Ralph. Jeff plays Randall, then James, then Ashley, then you. And Ashley plays Justin this week, then Cody, then Jeff, then me.
So let's see.
Who will go undefeated the longest? And I think I know what you're going to say.
So
Baron.
So it's tough because in Randall and Jeff's matchup this week, it's pretty close. That will have a big swing there because obviously one person winning takes a win away from the other person, and then we go from there. Randall does have a tough schedule with Jeff and then you. Ralph's fairly tough in there as well. Alan not so much at the moment, but that can always change. But Jeff must play Randall and Ashley, the 2 undefeated teams, along with James, who's correct me if I'm wrong. He's one of the highest scoring teams in the league. He didn't have Odell Beckham.
Only because he got
1,
164 this week.
and he didn't have Odell Beckham in
He
his
had 91 in week 1.
Yeah, with Odell Beckham in his starting lineup scoring 0. But
like
a
he
good
scored
team.
much this week.
And then me, and I'm fucking awesome. And then Ashley plays Justin, Cody, Jeff, and Danny. So really, I could see any of these. I think if I have to pick one, you know what? I'm going to stick with Randall. I'm going to go Randall.
Because he has the Jermaine positive curse.
Because he gets to play Allen.
I'm hoping for both Jeff and Ashley to go 4-0 and then play each other.
Yeah.
And then Ashley to win and then play me and I beat her.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. Or Jeff wins and you beat him.
I like beating
Doesn't
Jeff.
matter. Whatever we score that week, we'll beat one of them.
It's going to be interesting, but there will be at least one undefeated team going into next week, but no more than 2.
Yeah.
Unless Randall pulls out one of his patented ties.
Still don't have that up.
But it hasn't happened yet. Just have it ready for next week because it could happen.
Okay.
In fact,
We had 3 couldas this week.
That's true.
Anyways, this is this week's schedule. I probably don't really have to show this too much because we're about to go into the breakdowns.
Let's break this shit down.
Break this shit down. Do we want to play the bumper?
I like
We didn't play
bumpers.
it last time.
Can I push the button again?
You've yet to press the button correctly.
This is the
CFoD
Weekly Breakdown.
Now
See?
good for you. It's because it's the big one that's labeled CFoD Weekly Breakdowns.
That's what your mama said.
You said the big one.
My mom has produced this show before, so she actually does know what all the buttons are. Anyways, on to game number 1, a.k.a. the most boring game of the week. But that's only based on where you're placed. 11th versus 18 equals 19. So it's math. I don't actually hate Josh's team. I don't actually hate Alan's team.
No, you
that
have a
much.
bit of a man's crush on Josh's team, actually.
Yeah, he has.
And then I went and kicked the shit out of it.
Sure, we'll go with that. I scored 132 points to help you get to 132 to beat him.
Well, that and Ezekiel Elliott he scored 4, so that helped.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, got a good matchup here, I think. Closer than what a lot of people would expect, in my opinion.
Yeah.
In fact, I think I'm going to go with a little upset pick here.
What?
I'm going to pick Allen in this matchup. Here's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at running backs, which I actually think could be a fairly even matchup this week. Devontae Freeman taking on his former team, Josh, traded for the 2nd year in a row. He's going to want some revenge on that. Marshawn Lynch can still score touchdowns. He's not hurt yet. Ezekiel Elliott sucked last week and plays Arizona, so we'll see how that goes. Wide receivers, I'm seeing... obviously Josh has talent there with AJ Green and Kelvin Benjamin in a juicy matchup against New Orleans.
But who throws the ball to AJ Green?
That would be my boy, the Red Rocket, Andy Dalton.
Oh, and who throws the ball to Kelvin Benjamin?
That would be Cam Newton, who's also on Josh's team, and his shoulder hurts.
So he's going to get like 7 points from those 3 players?
It could happen. And Sammy Watkins plays for the Rams, so
He does?
Yep. Meanwhile, here's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at Jarvis Landry against the Jets. I think Jarvis Landry is going to catch 25 passes in that game.
For about 38 yards?
Yeah, something like that. The point is the passes
Yeah.
being caught. And then I'm looking at the flex positions down there. Lamar Miller hasn't done anything to be excited about so far. I don't know that Danny Amendola is going to play in that game against Houston, which isn't the greatest matchup anyway. So I think that's what's going to make the difference. I think it's still going to be a great matchup that Josh is projected to win on paper. But I'm calling upset. I'm picking Allen Dunn in this one.
All right. Well, I am going to, even though I just kind of hated on Newton, Benjamin, and Green by saying we're going to score 7 points, I'm going to go the other way and say that the Panthers might actually play some offense this week.
That's fun. Oh, no, you were serious.
Yeah, I'm serious.
Okay.
They might. I didn't say they will. I said they might.
It's New Orleans.
And A.J. Green is going to catch 2 touchdown passes this weekend.
All right.
They're not at home.
All right.
And, well, obviously, Devontae Freeman's going to break his leg. But no, here's the number one reason is Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford is a great quarterback, but not a great fantasy quarterback. He needed to be clutch last week to give Allen the win, and he couldn't do it.
Well, that's because they were playing the Giants, who couldn't hang.
He told their punt return team to return a kick, and then they didn't get to get the ball. It's all on Matt
Poor
Stafford.
leadership is what that is.
Exactly.
The head of your team.
So I am going to put all my money on
All of it?
Taserface. No. Well, I'm going to put like 13 fab dollars. If we could bet fab dollars.
Let's bet fab dollars. I need some. I need to reload. I have $13. Double or nothing. Let's roll some dice.
All right. Anyways, so I am going with Josh to win this game.
I'm picking Allen. This is a contended pick.
Contention. We don't have the button yet.
Aww.
We haven't gone into editing for that yet.
Well, fuck.
Next week.
All right.
Anyways,
We'll give
game
you
number
the
2 between Tommy and Baron. And Tommy, tell me about this matchup.
You want me to break down my own matchup? I'm going to win.
Okay, well, let me break down the matchup. You're going to win.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. So Jordy Nelson did not play last week. He played, but he didn't play.
Yeah.
So if he can play, then he can play this week. But if he can't
Tommy?
play, then he can't play. Yes, I'm Tommy. So we'll see how that goes. Pierre Garçon plays this Thursday. Le'Veon Bell hasn't been Le'Veon Bell. So that's a big one right there. It depends on what his running backs do. Both got pretty good matchups, so we'll see what happens out of there. But I think I've got the receiver matchup. I'll give him the running back matchup, but then I'm going to give myself a clear advantage across the flex position and tight ends.
Well, he does have locker room cancel Brandon Marshall playing.
Yeah, that's going to drag down his other 2 flexes at least. So
Yeah.
And then our defenses play against each other, so that should be interesting.
In London.
Indeed. It's 6:30 a.m. We get to get up early this week.
We get to go to Bullies and have breakfast.
Yay!
God, we have to wait so long
To
for
watch-
the 11:21 update.
To watch Ravens Jaguars. Anyway, so yeah, sorry Baron, but unless Le'Veon Bell has a monster week, which he's fully capable of, it's happened to me before, I think I got this one.
All right, so I'm going to throw in a couple of points that I thought about. Is that you have Brandon Cooks, and the Patriots have 0 wide receivers other than Chris Hogan. So somebody's going to catch the ball, and it could as well be Brandon Cooks. He could have 3 touchdowns.
Brandon Cook should. We need to change scoring next year. I want receivers to get a point for every pass interference they draw, because Brandon Cooks would have like double the points.
Good job. And number 2 is you've got Devontae Parker, who's a deep ball threat, and Jay Cutler
against the Jets.
Yeah, they're not that good. Now here's my problem though. Is you've also got that Rob Gronkowski guy. He's a little, oh my groin.
He's going to be fine. His groin's fine.
He'll be fine, but I don't know if he'll be fine against Houston.
I think he'll be fine against Houston.
You think he'll be fine against Houston?
I think so. I'm just glad it's not his back. I think he'll be fine. I think he plays. And even if he doesn't play, I've still got Zach Ertz, and I've got a few other sleeves in there to put in that flex spot. Creepy smile.
Yeah. But anyways, and then, it's just... I could see Baron winning this one, so I'm going to actually go with your pick and pick you to win. But it's going to be a lot closer than you might think, because I think you're not going to get much from Gronkowski, and he's not going to get much from Jordy. And Le'Veon Bell's got to show up. He's playing the Bears.
We'll see. I mean, he's played the Browns and
the Browns was his first game.
And who was last week against that he should have done better? Who did they play?
The team,
the Vikings, right?
Yeah.
All right, that's a tough matchup, but still, he expect more than that from Le'Veon Bell. Just hasn't been himself. Let's move on.
All right, on to game number 3. That's my game.
You're
Or-
projected more points than Ralph.
Yeah, but it's okay because whatever I score, you score.
Oh, I like that. So, yeah, I was looking at some week 3 projections actually this week, and one list I looked at. The top 3 players on that list were number 1 Antonio Brown, number 2 Julio Jones, and number 3 Jay Ajayi against the Jets. You know what all 3 of those players have in common?
Panthers colors?
Well, no, none of them have Panthers colors, but they are all on your team,
Oh.
and you have Panthers colors.
Yeah.
So that right there. That's tough to beat, especially when I'm looking at Ralph's lineup. And yes, he has Martavis Bryant, who could steal some looks from Antonio Brown. Derrick Henry, he does have him in the starting lineup this week, but it's against Seattle, and we're still kind of waiting to hear what that whole situation is with DeMarco Murray. I am going to give Ralph the advantage at tight end, and the first flex, the wide receiver tight end flex. I'd rather have Kelsey and Macklin over Walker and Higgins. But I'm going to give you the advantage with smoking Jake Cuddy over Kenny Stills.
Who he might throw to.
He could, but I just Parker and Landry and even Jay Ajayi
And Julius Thomas.
Yeah, I think Cutler's going to have a huge game there, and either way, you have the quarterback and the running back against the Jets, so you have Cutler to put the lead up, and then Ajayi to run the clock out. So
And then
fun-
who's going to throw the ball to that Julio Jones guy who you said was on the?
that would be Matt Ryan, who's also on your team.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
But yeah, Ralph, Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. I can't say his name, but he hasn't gotten off to a great start yet either. So it's just, Ralph hasn't quite found his stride yet, and you're clearly you have your stride. So I think the projections hold true, and Danny wins pretty solidly. I don't think it's going to be that close.
Hope so, because I was projected about this high ahead of Allen going into last week, and going into Monday night, I was feeling very scared at halftime.
It's those receivers. You know who I think the most important player on your roster is?
Hopkins?
Jay Ajayi.
Yeah.
Because as long as he's healthy, then you're solid. Like your running back depth isn't so great after that, though. So
No.
as long as he's healthy, I think you're one of the favorites to win the championship this year. But that's scary. It's tough to have that situation and have that guy you're counting on being the guy who has no cartilage in his knee.
Who needs it?
Yeah, we'll see.
Joe Thornton doesn't need it.
Yeah, that's fine. That's hockey. It's a weak sport.
All right, so this is the game that decides who wins the trade?
No, that won't be decided till the end of the year. This is still beginning of the year right now, but so far it's looking. I mean, you're 1-1, projected to win big, and Ralph really can't afford to go 1-3. That would be tough. Usually
that would be like clusterfucker and button pressing. Not this button,
right?
Different button.
No, typically if Ralph starts off 0-3, that's probably the last we'll hear from him this season. But
especially just good thing he's not a Chargers fan this year. God, the Chargers cannot get lucky to save their lives.
he's a Chiefs fan, and they have all the luck in the world right now.
Yeah,
so that's
well, they've got all the Hunt in the world.
All the Hunt.
They have all the four-lettered running backs in the world.
Mike Hunt.
No, that's Hawks.
Okay, on to the next one.
On to game number 4. That's between Justin and the clusterfucker. Tommy, what do we got going on here?
We have last year's clusterfucker versus this year's clusterfucker. Prediction or spoiler? Anyway, so we get into this, and I'm going to give Justin the advantage at running back and quarterback, and that's it. Because I'll take Todd Gurley and Dalvin Cook. Both of those are great. Jordan Howard hasn't quite gotten going. We don't even know if he's going to play this week. Terrence West, same thing. I just noticed this. Ashley's starting running backs are getting their jobs taken by my starting running backs.
Interesting.
Actually, no, Jordan Howard's not really losing his job to Tariq Cohen, but
He's just hurt.
yeah, and Cohen plays a different role that has been seeing success because the Bears suck.
All right, so who is your prediction here, buddy?
I'm predicting Ashley very
Ashley, huh?
easily. Actually,
Easily?
I think she has a significant advantage at the wide receiver position.
Easily.
Yeah, I think so.
But she's got Jordan Reed, who is a little bit banged up, and she traded away Delaney Walker.
So that's a little scary. I'll give you that. And with a Sunday night game also. So
Randall Cobb's a little beat up.
So not a good time to trade a backup tight end. She probably needs to go scoop up another one just to be safe, because if Jordan Reed doesn't play and it's Sunday night, then that's 2 games you have to find a replacement there. You either have to scoop in someone on that Sunday night game or find someone Monday. And what's the Monday game this week? Arizona, Dallas. Jason Witten is already owned, and we have no idea who the tight end for Arizona is. I don't anyway. Do
Jermaine
you?
Gresham?
Who? Anyway, so yeah, she's probably. That's a good point. If she doesn't get that backup tight end, then this is one that Justin could steal.
Yeah.
Especially with his Todd Gurley has a good matchup against the Niners, but he didn't do shit against us last year, so bring it.
Okay. Are we moving on to the next game?
What's funny is this episode's probably going to air the day after the game when Todd Gurley probably ran for like 30 points on us last night. So that'll be funny.
All right. So Tommy predicts what?
I predict Ashley.
No. Points from Gurley.
Oh, points from Gurley? 4.
You predict 4 from Gurley. Okay.
At least.
So I'm going to edit a 4 up here and just in post-production a 4 up here. And then if I don't get this out until after the game, I'll post what he actually scored over there. And we'll see how close you are.
I'm going to stick with 4. I think that's solid. I think that's a realistic projection. And I do pick Ashley to win, by the way. What was your projection?
I'm going to pick... Justin.
Oh!
Why
Contention!
I don't have the button yet.
I can say it.
Yeah, but you...
Contention!
Contention.
Contention. All right. This is a long episode.
I know. And you totally forgot the Game 4 bit.
What was the Game 4 bit?
Doesn't matter.
All right.
And now you remember.
Yep. But it's too late.
We're on to game number 5 between Cody and James.
Wait a second. I just reminded me of something. I'm looking at Cody's lineup, and I realized that we forgot to announce the Week 1 MVP.
Oh, do we have to do that now?
Yes, I think we do. Because if we don't do it now, we'll never remember to.
I don't want to.
But he earned it.
Okay, press the button. Press the right button.
CFoD MVP.
That's right. Back in Week 1, Mike Gillisley was a last-minute change for Cody.
And he scored points.
Not only points,
Now, on to this matchup?
but the first points in CFoD history from the Superflex position.
Oh, that's right.
He had a big matchup, big game, scored 3 touchdowns, led Cody to victory. Congratulations, Week 1 MVP, Mike Gillisley.
Mike Gillisley. And he's got him in his line. He's upped him from the Superflex up to RB2.
That's right. He has snagged the RB2 job, and CJ Anderson, be scared because he might be coming for your job as well. Carlos Hyde is still sitting there in the Superflex, though, so he's okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's. Why don't you start off this one? Tell me what you think.
I'm gonna tell you. I really like James's team, other than Odell Beckham. Actually, to be fair, Drew Brees, his team sucks at defense, so he's always going to be throwing the ball. Alshon Jeffrey has shown great promise in Philly. Emmanuel Sanders goes off every other week.
But he went off last week.
Yeah.
And
The DeMarco Murray thing is scary, but I really do like Ty Montgomery.
Yeah.
This is my wife. Do I answer it?
She's live on the show.
Hello, and thank you for calling the CFoD Show.
That's the shit I deal with.
Hi.
I'm a long-time listener.
Long-time listener.
First-time caller.
For-
I just want to say I'm a big fan of your show, and I don't like Tommy. He's kind of a bitch, but that Daniel guy is pretty adorable. Yeah.
All right, do you have a question for the show?
Will you marry me?
I'm already married. I'm sorry.
Well, fuck you.
That was a bitch caller.
All right. Our first ever live CFoD show call, other than Tony, obviously.
Yeah, it doesn't count that we hired him.
I do think it's funny I press speakerphone right when the caller gets to...
Isn't that how all the calls
I don't
go?
like Tommy.
Anyway, they interrupted the matchup that we were getting into. You were talking about Emmanuel Sanders.
I was actually bouncing from an Emmanuel Sanders saying, DeMarco Murray's scary, but I love Ty Montgomery.
Yeah, Ty Montgomery has been a good player.
Jason Witten's back to 2012 form.
Indeed, we'll see how long that holds up before his hip busts out. Is that another caller? Or do we get a text from a
That's
fan?
probably a text from a fan.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, you make valid points. James has a good team if DeMarco Murray is healthy, but DeMarco Murray is a little banged up right now, so I'm not sure about that. Odell Beckham's a little banged up right now, so I'm not sure about that. Emmanuel Sanders, his quarterback, plays for the other team, along with his leading competition for targets, Demaryius Thomas. So You make good points about James, but I think Cody is equally loaded in firepower over there. Terrell Pryor hasn't gotten going, but I love the combination of Mike Evans and Demaryius Thomas.
C.J. Anderson has looked good this year.
He has. He's still healthy. Mike Gillislee is scoring touchdowns. We'll see how that happens.
Carlos Hyde looked really good against the Seahawks.
Right, which is a tough matchup. So we'll see there. I give the running back advantage. Even with Ty Montgomery, I'm going to give the running back and Superflex advantage to Cody. Tight end, Ben Watson. I'm a little bummed I didn't get a shot at Ben Watson. He had nine catches last week.
I thought it was
or eight catches. I'm
8.
sorry,
Yeah.
but it was like was it 9 targets, something like that.
I think it was 8 targets, 6 catches. I don't know.
No, I think he had 8 catches. So, but either way, that was the target monster out there. So I think that could contend with Jason Witten, and I like Adam Thielen more than Tyrell Williams. So this is a good matchup. Good matchup down the board. Tough to call. But I'm going to say Odell Beckham's still not 100%. DeMarco Murray's not 100%. So I'm going to give Cody the advantage. Cody wins.
All right. Well, I'm looking at who he could slot in. No. James has Hunter Henry on his bench. He's got Ted Ginn Jr. on his bench. So those are some plug-ins for those two players if he absolutely needs to.
Yeah, nothing.
I don't think that Watson's going to do that good 2 weeks in a row. Pitta never had like 2 good weeks in a row. Neither did
Pitta was a target monster.
Yeah, but it seemed like they changed their game plan up enough. But so I'm going to go with James in this one.
Contention.
All
right, we need a button.
Yeah, I'll make one next week.
Yes, you will.
We have 1 consensus and 4 contentions, I think.
We just like arguing.
All right. On to the CFoD big game of the week.
Big game of the week.
So fucking huge.
That's what your mama said.
You're not allowed to press the button anymore.
We couldn't help it.
That was really good. All right, Tommy, what do we got going on here? We've got Derek Carr, a keeper, versus Russell Wilson, a keeper.
Battle of keepers. One of them was kept many rounds earlier than the other one, and the one who was kept later has been better. That's that top-notch analysis that people pay for.
You love the analysis.
I sure do. Meanwhile, we look at the wide receiver matchup on paper, and on paper, Jeff is clearly better at the wide receiver position. However, Randall has a couple of guys who have been performing like wide receiver
Randall has
ones.
the Jermaine positive curse.
Yeah, whatever. But Michael Crabtree and Tyreek Hill have both put up wide receiver 1 performances so far, while Des Bryant has struggled a little bit, and he gets Patrick Peterson this week in Arizona. That's a tough one. Keenan Allen has to go up against the Kansas City secondary. That's a tough one. I won't talk about Carolina's secondary. But the running back matchup I clearly give to Randall. As I've said this, you'll probably get that draw every week as long as those running backs are healthy. And that extends out to James White, actually.
I love James White this week.
Yeah, we scoffed a little bit that James White might have been kept a few rounds earlier than he needed to be, but I mean, he's definitely lived up to that value, catching those passes. So that's been great. The tight end flex matchup is a little bit tough to call. Kobe Fleener's caught a touchdown each week, but he has a guy named Luke Kuechly patrolling the middle this week. So I'm not sure about that. I like all 4 of those players, Fleener, Jones, Doyle, Dixon. They could all go either way. They could score 20 points. They could score no points. So when I look at it that way and the matchups that Jeff has to deal with at wide receiver and the advantage Randall has at running back. Now, granted, LaShawn McCoy does play against Denver. They did shut down Ezekiel Elliott last week. So it could be tough, but I'm going to side with Randall. I'm going to pick Randall to win this one.
Yeah, I am. I'm thinking the exact same thing. Plus, he's got New England playing against Houston, and Houston's not very good at offense.
However, Jeff does have the Rams against the Niners.
I think the Niners are going to score their first touchdown.
You think?
I do.
Holy Santa Claus shit! I can't wait. But yeah, I picked Randall. That was part of the reason why I picked Randall to finish first, or to be the last undefeated team, because I think he's going to win this week.
Yep. No. After looking at the lineups, it's really hard to disagree. I think the worst team in the league going into week 1 is going to be the best team coming out of week 3.
Yeah. Yeah, so kudos to Randall. I mean, just Kareem Hunt has been the best running back in football so far this year. and
Not by
he's
much.
the healthiest anyway.
He's only got 30 more points than anyone else.
Oh, that's not that many. So, but he just needs points out of Tyreek Hill or Michael Crabtree or Jermaine Positive Curse. And
It may stick.
it may. If we keep trying. If we keep shoving it in there, it'll stick.
Nope.
See? Discipline.
A little spire.
Anyway, since the show is probably like 50 minutes now.
Yeah. That's getting there. Anyways, I want to go back to Game 5. The reason I picked James is because he's got Carolina defense. Go Panthers.
Oh, that could be a mistake. It's
Why
just
is that
New
a
Orleans.
mistake?
It's just New Orleans, just Drew Brees.
All right, so Kareem Hunt has 23 more points than the next highest running back.
Huh, that's not bad.
Yep.
It's not bad at all.
And 30 more points than the fourth, which is Chris Thompson.
Well, Chris, in all fairness, Chris Thompson got like 20 points on one play last week. So,
All right, well, anyways, that does it for this extremely long show. If you were able to trog all the way through it, all the way here to the end, well, then kudos to you. You have a discipline.
yeah, sorry, it took a little bit longer. We had to throw in some nuggets from week 1 in there, so that kind of dragged things out a little bit longer. From here on out, we should be pretty consistent for the most part.
Consistent at being very long.
That's what your mama said.
Did it work?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I couldn't hear it. I don't have my headphones on. So, anyway, I think we're done.
All right, buddy.
All right.
Where's the broom?
Oh, I threw that away.
Oh, it's really good at pointing.
We just have to use our fingers.
Okay.
That's
well,
what your mama said. That was a live button.
that was a live
That doesn't
read.
count.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching the show this week. Thank you for our live call-in episode. If you want to call the show, call the number on the screen right now. If you want to email the show, email
It doesn't say anything. There's nothing over here. There's no number on the screen.
post-production. We'll work.
You're
on
not going to do it. You never do the post-production.
That's the frickin' joke.
Should we just end this?
I was trying.
Hey, everybody, go CFoD yourselves.
I can.
You tell your wife to stop calling me a bitch on my show.
Do you want to cuddle?
Not really.
Me neither. Like when we're doing things where it's like, this is my turn to talk and I can say something, just really focus in on it and then go to yours and you can really focus in on it.
Serious moment.
A serious marmot. They are intense. The serious marmot. What? I didn't think it was that funny, but apparently it was.
Yeah, I got stuck like going to say minute and moment started to come out.
I know.
and it's a long marmot. I'm just picturing a serious marmot.
Puts on his little glasses. Today we're going to talk about pellets versus not pellets for food.
Versus whatever the fuck else we eat.